on the track, boys.
And we are officially live. Hello to all my BC WrestlePod nerds out there, and welcome to another rendition of Los Lobos de la Lucha, your weekly CMLL review show here at the BC WrestlePod. I am Mikey, also known as El Jefe of the BC WrestlePod parts, and joined with me this evening is the muy guapo, muy sexy, muy amazing Papa Oso himself. I will continue to shower this man with praises because I can, and I love him. But Papa Oso is in the building tonight, so happy to have him here. And I'm really excited about tonight. We've been waiting all summer for this, and it's finally here. But also, got to give a shout out to our unofficial co-host, our primo, the hermano, the homie to the channel, Agent Lo-Fi, who is in the chat for this one too. And we are here to review this past Friday's episode of Viernes Espectacular, but it is a very special one because it is the 2025 Men's Grand Prix, which makes me super excited to talk about. And I can't wait to talk about it because it's super fun. I actually wrote down the order of eliminations and by who. I did my due diligence for this one. So this time, because I learned from last year, I was like, we are going to be professional, kind of. Anyways, but before we get into all of that, a bit of housekeeping. Whether you found us via YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, we ask and we would love for you to subscribe and follow us on your preferred platform out of those three to watch and consume media content in the form of videos and stuff like that. But we also understand that time is history and does not exist for everyone. So if you still want to interact with our lovely community just in a smaller bite-sized way, then you can follow us at, the BC WrestlePod on all the social medias where we do the report cards. I created new graphics to preview the shows for the day and for the week. Like, here's what's going to be on, like today, like I did one for here's what's going to be on Dynamite. And then she got the Dynamite graphic match cards and everything. And we will be doing that for every show that we cover here. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to do it for pay-per-views, but we'll see with all of that. So that should still be fun. But we also have merchandise available if you want to take it a step further and financially support us, while also rocking some cool design. I am wearing our Hot Boys Summer collection, which is unfortunately wrapping up for its summer season. So this weekend we can make room for the fall stuff. Guys, we've gone from Hot Boy Summer, and Papa also and I can attest to this, as well as a couple other folks here. We are moving from Hot Boy Summer to Fat Boy Fall. Fat Boy Fall is all raging, so be prepared for those because it's great. But we also have merchandise from our Pride collection and our Anti-Fascism collection, in which both of those collections have charity organizations tied to them, being Point to Pride and the California Youth Immigration Justice Fund. Got to get those letters right. So if you want to support us that way, link in the chat and as well as the description of this live stream at bc-wrestle-pod-shop.fourthwall.com. That is bc-wrestle-pod-shop.fourthwall.com. Alrighty. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into why we're really here. We got a Viernes Espectacular to talk about, and I don't know how long this is going to go because the main event is a lot. So this is great. Also, I have some really fun stuff to talk about, especially that dropped on Informa because, you know, I'm a big gaming nerd. And we're going to talk about this collaboration CMLL's got going on right now. So stay tuned for that. But let us get into it. We kicked off the Grand Prix for CMLL with our opening bout, which saw the team of Capitan Suicida and Valiente Jr. taking on the team of Raider and Vegas Depredador. So shout out to Raiders Mass. I'm really digging this red ensemble. I love it so much. It's so great. This was a really fun match. Again, I feel like because of what we were getting in the main event, I was like, all right, so we got these matches to, you know, appetize us, to satiate us while we wait for this. But this definitely was a really fun match. But obviously, it was just like, all right, guys, you got like 10 minutes tops. Let's go out there and do this thing because we got other things. And we have like 2 whole hours for the main event. So there was like no time to like go long with this one. And you know what? It was really good. That everybody worked fast paced in this one. Everyone got in the spots really quickly. And ultimately, it would be the team of Capitan Suicida and Valiente Jr. to pick up the win over Raider and Vegas Depredador. So, Papo Oso, coming to you first. This was our first bout, una caída, so 1 fall. What did you think of our opener for the Grand Prix?
I mean, I thought it was a great opener, but you and I we were talking and such when I was watching Grand Prix, and I was like, we're talking about how the Grand Prix didn't feel like it was that long at all, but I felt these opening matches felt long, and it's probably because I was anticipating the Grand Prix, but it's just like because literally I was like, okay, here we go, all right, Grand Prix right out the gate, because originally that's what I thought it was going to be. And then they were like, "Oh, so." And I was like, "Wait a minute, they're not in the great. What is this? What?" And I was like, "Oh, okay. So we're gonna have a sort of like here's an appetizer." And I was like, "Okay," which was great. I thought it was a great opener. And I have to agree with Agent Lo-Fi. I'm kind of on a Valiente Jr. kind of kick right now. Yeah, there it is, right there. I agree. I think he's on fire right now, and but I really liked it. It was good. I was literally like, okay, that was great. All right, is it Grand Prix time now?
I know we had to work through some of the other matches before Grand Prix, but I still had a good time with some of the other matches.
I enjoyed it.
So this opening match gets a little applause. We discovered the soundboard in StreamYard, you guys. So this is what happens when you get ADHD-esque folks and people on the spectrum to play with things. So be prepared for all of that. And yeah, Agent Lo-Fi clocking this in. It was a 6.5 minute opener. So I was just like, damn, like we did not get long with this one either. It's like, all right, guys, well, let me rephrase my statement now. It's like, oh, you got 10. Never mind. Y'all got like at least 7 minutes tops. Let's get through this. But I also agree. I'm really digging Valiente Jr. right now the last couple of months, actually. And I'm hopefully we'll get to see him do more stuff. But shout out to all these guys. They were great. And I had a great time with this. So then we move on to our second match where, again, we are getting these next two matches is like, all right, these are all the people we're going to be seeing at Aniversario. So how many different ways can we pair them up and have matches for? So in our second match, we have the team of Esfinge and Dragon Rojo Jr. taking on El Valiente, who still be looking jack in this picture, and our favorite caveman in Barbaro Cavernario. So this is a relevo sencillo a dos a tres caídas, so 2 out of 3 falls. I listen. I was like, I know what this match is getting. I still had a great time with this. It's a good back and forth between everyone. There were parts of this match I was like, oh god, I think Barbaro just died somewhere. I was like, that man everywhere. I was just like, yo, Barbaro out here like flying like gravity don't exist is kind of crazy. And again, you know what? And same with Esfinge too. I was like, Esfinge did a lot of hops in this match as well. I was just like, oh my gosh. But after going back and forth, when the dust was settled, all that good stuff. Ultimately, it would be the team of Esfinge and Dragon Rojo Jr. to pick up the win over El Valiente and Barbaro Cavernario. So, Papa Oso, what did you think about this match?
I thought it was pretty good. Again, I'm like, oh yeah, woo! Is it Grand Prix time now? Literally,
I mean,
every time a match came on, I'm like, oh, that was amazing. I love these guys.
Grand Prix time?
Oh, is Grand Prix next?
Be like, down, boy, down. I'm just kidding. No, for reals. I was salivating. I was just like, I'm about to see 20 people fly on my screen, and also I'm gonna ogle every single one of them equally. Hopefully 3 of them will become my boyfriend. They don't know I exist, but I have to agree with Agent Lo-Fi. This is like the next 2 matches were interchangeable, good effort for what they were accomplishing, and this is to kill time until we get to Aniversario in like 2 weeks too, with everybody involved. So I'm just like, all right, I still had a good time with this, and the same can be said for our third and final match before the Grand Prix, which saw. Again, these are the elder statesmen, if you will. So we had the team of Ultimo Guerrero, raise the roof, teaming up with Rey Bucanero, taking on Averno and El Felino. Listen, painted ab shirts are in, you guys. I need one. Like, I need a painted on ab shirt, like for real.
God, so funny. So funny. I think I even messaged you about it. I was just like, oh my god, it was Averno, right? Yeah, or was it El Felino? El Felino. Which one? Oh god, I can't
believe
remember.
It was El Felino.
Yeah, it was El Felino because he came out first. But yeah, the minute he turned, it was like the pecs and the abs. I was like, I love my big boys making fun of the skinny boys.
Like, listen, I need one of those. We need to make that a shirt for us at BC WrestlePod. I will have us rock those shirts like nobody's business.
I don't have a 6-pack. I have a keg.
Hey, but you know what? Kegs are also very sexy, Papa.
They are indeed. Oh, I know. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Be like, sorry. I was about to do motorboat action. It's like, this is a family channel. Just kidding. It's late enough for us, so we can be kind of crazy. But I did. So this was a relevo sencillo, so a dos de tres caídas, so 2 out of 3 falls. I'm just gonna go straight to what Agent Lo-Fi brought up, which is it's a cool thing seeing Ultimo and Bucanero team up for possibly one last time because they were a legendary tag team. I was like, that's right. By the end of this, Rey Bucanero and El Felino, somebody may or may not be retiring. Who knows? Because Lucha Libre, we got people out here in their 70s still wrestling, and it's great. But who knows? It's crazy out here. But again, this was a really fun match. Again, a good back and forth between everyone. killing time until Aniversario, and it ultimately was, no pun intended, Ultimo Guerrero and Rey Bucanero taking the win over Averno and El Felino. So, Papa Oso, what did you think about this one? Though I think I know how this is gonna go.
I mean, it was good, but again, I was like,
Is it
okay,
Grand Prix
now
time?
it's time for Grand Prix, right?
Oh my goodness. So,
But
and
no, I
you know
mean,
what?
but in
Yeah.
honest, I mean, Ultimate Guerrero, I love it. I love all four of these guys. I was like, oh, now see, funny thing about this match is that I would have thought this match would have been a great opener if they were going to have one match. I thought this one would have been a great opening match for the Grand Prix because it was just so good. I love these guys, and I just thought they did so great. I just love them. But anyway, yeah, I like this one, but I was so ready for Grand Prix at this point.
No, 100%. And before we get to Grand Prix, to kind of, sorry, not sorry, to kind of blue ball us a little bit, though, a word from our sponsors. Do you like wrestling and do you want to see more of it for us here at BC WrestlePod? Well, make sure to follow us for all the wrestling action. We are on Instagram, Blue Sky, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Kick. We have threads. We have a merch. We technically have a Patreon. This weekend, I'm looking into, launching a coffee for us because why not? So if you want to support us, follow us on the socials, follow us on our streaming channels, buy some merch, and you know what? Maybe send $1 or $2 our way because we love you. And even if you don't, we love you anyways because 405 of you somehow found this channel and have got us that far on YouTube. We are 95 away from 500. So that is my goal by the end of the year. Let's get us to 500 subscribers, which is crazy to think about. All right, Will. All right, here we go. Now we're in the meat potatoes of it all. Literally, I kid you not, when we got done with the third match and they started doing everything for Grand Prix, I was like, holy shit, we got 2 hours left on this card. I was like, no way am I going. At first, I was like, no way am I going to be able to pay attention to a 2-hour match. And then by the end of it, I was like, oh my God, that did not feel like 2 hours. I was like, I kid you not, I was enthralled. I was like, I have little notes, but I remember some key points. But this is the 2025 Men's Grand Prix in CMLL, Team Mexico versus Team International. So to recap here, on Team Mexico, we have Atlantis Jr., Difunto, Titan, Volador Jr., Místico, Neon, Ángel de Oro, Máscara Dorada, Zandokan Jr. and baby daddy to Papa here, Templario. Quiero Templario. Taking on Team World, which this year was represented by Rocky Azucar Romero, the Bone Soldier Taiji Ishimori, Donovan Dijak, Leo Rush, my heel that I did not know I wanted till this, Speedball Mike Bailey, Beast Morthos, Robbie X, Action Andretti, Michael Oku, and TJP. So before we get into, we're going to try to break this down into chunks because, I want us to actually make it to at least 30 minutes before this review is over. But holy crap, we got a lot to talk about here. So yeah, that's where we're going to start right there first. Let's talk about these intros. First of all, shout out to Reina Isis, who was holding up the CMLL flag as last year Amazonas winner and kind of holding the flag for the men's tournament. Let's talk about these entrances because everybody got an introduction and it took like 20 minutes to get through everyone, but I was here for it. Also, shout out to Team Mexico because everyone got the agenda of wearing some sort of form of color combination of green, red, and white for the Mexican flag. I was like, yes. Some of my favorites were probably Zandokan Jr., whose mask had all the world flags on it, which was really cool. But my personal favorite, I have to give it to Máscara Dorada, like those arm sleeves and the color scheme and the mask. I was like, I think that was probably my favorite.
Yeah, I agree.
I was just like, everybody was here repping for Mexico, so Team Mexico did their thing. And you know what? I was like, I don't know if they would sell them, but the jackets that Team World got, I was like, I love that they have the flag. And then, CMLL, I was like, I kind of want one, CMLL. I'm not going to lie. I would buy one of those jackets in a heartbeat. I was like, let's do this. So, and yeah, I agree, Agent Lo-Fi. Those jackets and the presentation of the intros, like, feels like very big sports feel. So they did the damn thing. So we kind of talked about this last year when we covered the Grand Prix, but I also want to talk about it now too. Can we just shout out to the whole entire, like, we got the Mexican National Army coming in with the salute and the trumpets and the drum corps, and then the national anthem with everyone in the arena. I was like, oh my God, this feels like a World Cup, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, agreed.
I was proud. I'm not gonna lie. I was just like, I'm half Mexican, and I teared up a little bit. Like, oh my God, this is amazing.
It was super cool. I mean, it was so good. I love it. It's so funny because, well, not funny. I love this. I gush on Lucha anyway, but it's things like this that just make it even more so. It's the pomp and circumstance, but not in the sort of blowing sunshine up your ass pomp and circumstance. Like we take this shit seriously. Let us show you how we take it seriously. And then it's that all of that sort of patriotic almost sense. You feel like you belong, like the culture is so, like, you feel like you're part of it. It like pulls you in. It's one of those wonderful. I mean, that's just, that may just be how I feel about it. Whenever they do things like this, I literally feel like they're saying, "Come on in, here, welcome, be part of us." And this just yeah, it was just so. I love this. I absolutely love this. So,
and not to spoil it, but if we follow the same schedule as last year, I'm really excited to get the Amazonas Grand Prix in October. So, which, you know what? If they also do what they did last year, where October was like Women's Wrestling Month in CMLL, which was fantastic as well. So who knows? We'll see all about that. But we got the intros out of the way. The pomp and circumstance was amazing, but then the bell rang. So this was a match of two halves. The first hour of this match was nothing but folks just pairing off and everybody showcasing they can. Agent Lo-Fi is coming out with what I agree is that both Team World and Team Mexico, everybody can fly. And yes, I agree. I didn't think I put Dijak in that category either. I was like, my God, this massive man is flying everywhere. And we don't normally see Dijak do that, whether he was in NXT or if what we see him currently in MLW. I'm just like, that man is large and he can fly. That is crazy to watch. But I'm so mad at this first half because now I'm just like, I saw people pairing off and I was like, give me a singles matches between these people. I'm like, oh my gosh. There are so many one-on-one matches from this first half of here that I want to see. I'm trying to think. I think my favorite interaction was probably TJP going off against Neon at some point. I was just like, oh my God, I want these two. And then watching the big boys fight each other, Michael Oku out here, Beast Mortos throwing things. I was really impressed with everybody in this match. And you know what? Even character work, because again, my biggest and fun surprise for me is that looking at everyone, I was like, yeah, they could kind of play heel. Speedball, though, Mike Bailey, we love you so much, and we've only really known you as a babyface. Watching you kind of be a dick here in CMLL was kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was kind of fun watching you kind of be a dick.
It was. I was like, oh my God. It's so funny because when it first happened, I was just like, wait. I was like, wait, what just happened? I was like, no way. And I was like, I rewound it. And I was like watching it again, and I was like, oh my God, I was like, Mike Bailey is a heel. I was like, what? And then I was like, I don't believe that. And then as it went on, I was like, wow, he is like a vicious heel. I mean, he was like, I was
It
like,
was so. I
all
was
right,
like,
Queen, calm down.
he's being a dick, and I love it. But yeah, to summarize, and Agent Lo-Fi here bringing it in, that first hour was everyone getting a chance to do their thing before we got the elimination. So now let's get into it, because an hour passes by. Everybody's fighting. We got some spots where, you know, Team World starts beating up, and then brawl. We had like 3 brawls in the first hour between Team Mexico and Team World, kind of taking it all out. Also, I love the subtlety that it was mostly our American talent being the ones to instigate these fights. Rocky Romero out here like stomping on luchadors. I was just like, Rocky Romero, I hate you. Also, call me. But now let's get into it. So after an hour, we finally get our first elimination after everything that has transpired. The first elimination comes from, you know, in the form of Defunto, our big boy zombie, being eliminated by the Beast Mortals of Team World.
Which felt fitting.
Yeah, so the big old brawl is a rare sight in CMLL, which is fair because we in the US promotions, we always see pull apart brawls all the time. But it's crazy to watch 10-on-10 brawls happen in this capacity, which is really, really fun. So again, after an hour, we start getting eliminations. Defunto is the first to fall for Team Mexico by being eliminated by Beast Mortos. Of course, you know, big boy on big boy action. So it was fitting kind of right there. But then, you know, Team Mexico gets a lick back because then it would be our first world casualty, Action Andretti, getting eliminated by, of course, the poster boy of CMLL, Místico. So that was a lot of fun. And then it just kept going. I'm going to be so for real. I think this year's Grand Prix did a really good job of being a good balance of back and forth, because we went back and forth like every other elimination was on the other side. So it was like Mexico World, Mexico World, Mexico World. And then, you know, the stakes got higher. I was like, oh no, Team World is leading. Oh, we caught up. It's crazy. So Action Andretti gets eliminated by Místico. Then third out is Angel de Oro getting eliminated by TJP, who locks in the octopus submission hold, which is a really cool submission for anybody to watch, where you like literally jump on the person's back and you tie up their arms using your limbs. So the octopus is great. Also, shout out to you, TJP. I love it when you give me my, you know, Filipino asawang like face paint and the red context. I was just like, yes, I'm here for the cultural costuming and things like that. So Angel de Oro gets eliminated by TJP. And for me personally on Team World, because he made it far last year, Michael Oku being eliminated fourth by our lovable pirate, Zandokan Jr. So at first I was like, okay, you know what? This is kind of right. This is kind of seeming fair. And then the craziness started happening with people getting eliminated next. So fifth out, and unfortunately means that we didn't get to see him for the rest of the show. What? Papa Oso's baby daddy, Templado, who he was eliminated by, you know, the Bone Soldier Taiji Ishimori. And for Papa, we do this. It's a sad day. It's a sad day in the house of Papa Oso. I'm not gonna lie, I thought Templario would have made it a little bit further, but to see him kind of fifth out, I was like, interesting. So I was like, that's
not happy
crazy.
about it. I was not happy. I was not a happy camper.
No, it wasn't. I love Agent Lo-Fi brings this up. Once again, even this year didn't have technically the biggest names. Everyone this match can go and keep up with that Lucha place. Even Dijak. I love how we're always putting an asterisk on Dijak, but it's true though. It's just like, I was like, to me, out of all 20 people, he's the one that kind of feels like the weirdest out of place, but it is what it is. So again, Templario is eliminated by Taiji Ishimori. And then Team Mexico gets one back, because then we have Robbie X of RevPro UK eliminated by Neon, who I was digging the pink and the green mask. I was just like, ooh, we're literally going with neon colors, and I'm here for it. But then it kept getting worse for Team World, because then Leo Rush was eliminated by Volador Jr., who's growing his facial out here, you guys.
Girl.
So I was just like, The vapors are coming.
Ooh, I love his mirror persona.
I was just like, yes, daddy. What?
Seriously, I was like, ooh,
I was
oh
just
my.
like, yes, sir. Anytime. Oof. Anyways. So, but then for me, the one that hurt the most is after Leo Rush getting eliminated by Volador Jr., our favorite pirate, Zandokan Jr., gets eliminated by Dijak. I was like, no! But then immediately I was like, yeah! Because then our other seafaring folk, Jr., eliminated Dijak right after that. So I was just like, this is great. So, taking a break from the list, Agent Lo-Fi coming in. This match was one of the very few times I was actually getting exhausted. Yes, me too, girl. Me too. Like 2 hours towards the end, I was like, they keep going back and forth. I'm barely hanging in there right now. And I watched this in the morning, but even then, I was like, I'm exhausted just watching this. This crazy back and forth action is nuts. Watching everybody go flying and getting eliminated. So at this point, Dijak gets eliminated by Atlantis Jr. Then Mascara Dorada out here eliminating Rocky Romero. So that was cool. But unfortunately, the good times for Team Mexico didn't last because our new favorite heel, Speedball Mike Bailey, eliminated Neon. Then Atlantis Jr. got eliminated by Beast Mortos. And then Beast would immediately be eliminated by Titan. We're gonna talk about a couple of these names because I feel like I forgot some people were in here. I was like, oh shit, I forgot you were in here. I didn't see a lot of you, but I still had fun. But then I cried a little bit because Mascara Dorada was then eliminated by TJP. Volador. Then it got worse because Volador Jr. got eliminated by Taiji Ishimori, but that exchange was really great. I love
so good.
Taiji is so good, and I want him to show up in CMLL more. But unfortunately, that would be the end of the road for the Bone Soldier because then Taiji Ishimori gets eliminated by Místico. And then Titan gets eliminated by Speedball Mike Bailey. So then it becomes a 2-on-1 situation. But of course, Team World does the greatest wrestling known to anybody. It's gloat before the match is over. Because then Místico is able to eliminate TJP. And then we get a short 1-on-1 between our final two of Místico and Speedball Mike Bailey after a flurry of fast exchanges. Speedball Mike Bailey is the last to be eliminated by Místico. So the winner, not only for Team Mexico, but for the 2025 Grand Prix is, Mr. Plata y Oro himself, Místico. So this... They're probably great, which is also true. And I kind of figured that out. It's like the fun thing to watch in these matches, according to Agent Lo-Fi, is when someone hits their finisher, they're probably going to get eliminated shortly after, which for the most part, that's exactly what happened. But woo, this was crazy. I went through the whole list. So it's going to be really hard to talk about that whole hour length of eliminations because it was crazy. But let's talk about some people. Let's start with some people that I was very surprised to see eliminated so early on. So I know it's a touchy subject, so I'm gonna hold your hand through this, Papa. So we're gonna hold our hands through this together. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of surprised to see that Templario didn't last longer than I thought he would. Giggity. But even still, I was like, holy hell, he was fifth out, and that kind of goes the same for me for Angel de Oro too. Mm-hmm. Like one half of our tag champs, I was like, I'm kind of surprised to see both of them get eliminated so early.
Yeah, I was very surprised to see Templario out so quick. And Angel de Oro as well, because they were fast. I was just like, okay. And then I was just like, boom. And I was like, wait, what? I even messaged you. I was like, I'm sick and tired of Templario constantly getting pinned. And I was just like, what the heck? And I was like, considering, honestly and truly looking at, and this is no diss on anyone, obviously, but looking at the other players in the game, I'm just like, Templario and some of these others, I was like, why did we not see some of the others go first? I I don't know. It was weird. Those two going out so quick really was kind of odd. I mean, I saw, like I would have, like a lot of the I don't know a lot of the folks on the international side, but some of them I
Right.
was like could have gone, and I would have been like, oh, okay, it makes sense.
Well, I
You
mean,
know,
to be fair, like Action Andretti and Leo Rush being eliminated first makes a little bit of sense because in AEW they're kind of not, on screen a lot. But like I said, from an to speak from the international perspective for me, because I know a lot of these folks a little bit more because I don't have a life and I watch too much wrestling. But again, between everyone on here, I was very surprised, especially because last year he made it a little bit further than this year. To see Michael Oku of the UK get eliminated fourth and be gone so early, elimination part was kind of crazy to me. I was like, he made it very far last year in the Grand Prix, so I was kind of surprised to see him not be able to make it further. But you know what? I still had a good time with this. So, and yeah, I kind of figured Agent Lo-Fi coming in with the lore that usually Volador and Mystico are usually like the big two in these types of matches, to be fair, which makes a lot of sense. And of course, Volador was eliminated towards the end, and then Mystico ended up winning it too. So love to see that. I'm gonna talk about two people from Team Mexico that, because of how chaotic this match was, I forgot they were there. I'm gonna be so for real. I forgot that Atlantis Jr. was in this match because I was just like, when he popped in, like in that second half, I'm like, oh crap, I forgot you're here, Atlantis Jr. I love you, but I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. And you know what? I don't know if it was because of how chaotic was. I'm glad I got to see him towards the end, but I also forgot that Titan was in this match too. I was like, oh shit, I'm sorry, Titan. I love you. I forgot you were here.
Yeah.
This was
Yeah,
chaotic. The
it's
cameraman
true
had their
though.
work cut out for them.
Yeah, it was chaotic. I mean, because all the brawls that were happening around the ring. I mean, it got crazy at times, and I forgot a lot of people that were there, like Atlantis Jr. I think I sent you a text about him because he was doing something. I think it was with him and Bismorto.
And you're just like, I forgot that they were still here.
Yeah, I was just like, oh wait, it's like wait, what? Oh yeah, I thought he had already gotten eliminated, to be quite honest. Yeah, and Titan was the other one. But even then I was like, wait, no, not Titan. But yeah, I agree with you. I was just like, wait, I literally like, honestly, truly, Atlantis Jr., Titan, Rocky Romero, and there was one other one. There was four that I thought had already been eliminated, but had not been eliminated yet. And then I was like, oh, I thought you were already out because I hadn't seen them, so I just assumed that they were eliminated.
Right.
But yeah, I agree with you. There were some people that were there, but not really.
Yeah. And then I think, and you know what, we both can do different, but if I had to pick like an MVP from Team Mexico, because this is CMLL, so the world, I'm always used to seeing them in their promotions. I think my favorite person to have my favorite sequences, and there was a lot of favorite, I have to give it to Mascara Dorada.
Yeah.
He was my MVP this whole one. I was just like, the exchanges he had with some of the members of Team World, I was just like, yes, sir, I love it.
I was so shocked when he got eliminated.
I was just like, wow, it's crazy. Mascara made it very far because he made it to the top 7 or 8, which is very crazy. Yeah.
But I honestly felt that he was going to go all the way. I thought it was going to be between him and somebody else from Team World. I was kind of surprised that he got eliminated. And I was just like, wait, what? And then I was like, oh, this is going to be a Mystico thing, I bet. Which is fine. And because it was great. Him and Speedball at the end, I thought that was fantastic. But I was very surprised that Mascara Dorada was eliminated so quickly. I feel so quickly, anyway.
I was just like, damn, we could have made it a little bit further. Agent Lo-Fi, I love this. It's like, yeah, don't pay too much attention when someone gets eliminated. Being on Team Mexico is already a huge honor. It was the Mystical Breed, as we saw.
Yeah,
The
it really
rest
was.
is extremely tasty filler. I was like, yes,
true.
very tasty.
So true. Very
It was
much
a
so.
smorgasbord.
I
So
have a-
again, Mystico is your 2025 CMLL Grand Prix winner, and he had a little bit of a message to the current CMLL, middleweight champion, Mr. Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. So it's like, we're getting that match at Aniversario, mask for belt. So this is gonna be fun. I can't wait. I love all the confetti and the streamers, and then everybody coming out to celebrate. Like, that was such a fun way to end the show. I was just like, by the end of this, I was just like, I need a cigarette. I feel like I just worked myself. My eyeballs were assaulted with lucha goodness and beautiful people. So it's just like, I can die happy now. So this was so much fun. We've been waiting all summer for this, and I am so excited. Well, one, that we got it, and I'm looking forward to next summer when we get one. But again, hopefully we don't have to wait too long for the next Grand Prix, because if we follow the same schedule as we did last year, October, Amazona Grand Prix should be coming up very, very soon. So I cannot wait for the Amazonas Grand Prix to see who's going to represent Team Mexico in the Amazonas division and who they're going to get from around the world to represent Team World for the women's. So I'm excited. What? That is another fun episode of Viernes Espectacular, but don't touch that dial, because we're going to preview what's coming up this week. So these next 2 weeks are going to be very interesting in terms of what we are getting, because we are getting some people coming on over from AEW to be popping in here, which makes me super excited. So let's go over this Friday's episode, what to expect for Viernes Espectacular. So this is already going to be the best match of the whole entire night. And this is hands down, I'm calling it right now, this is going to be the greatest match of 2025. I'm just kidding. But I'm really excited because this Friday on September 5th, we are opening up with a match Relampago. So a Relampago match is happening between Capitan Suicida and one of my personal new face in Mr. Utani. So Utani is getting a singles match in this Relampago one. And it was just like, yes! We get to see Utani go one-on-one with Capitan Suicida, so I'm excited. Man, yeah. Ooh, yes, okay. So, let's bring this up, because Agent Lo-Fi with the Informa. So, of course, Zuxis is back from injury, which I was like, yes, ma'am, but we also, in Informa, Agent Lo-Fi is telling us that Zuxis is going to be on Team Mexico this year, and AEW's Mina Shirakawa is going to be on the world team, which makes me excited. And yeah, Friday's opener is also going to rule Capitan Suicida versus Utani in a match Relampago. Then this gets better for me personally, because we finally get to the Viernes Espectacular return of our favorite Queero of CMLL. We get Dulce Gardenia, Brillante Jr., and Mahiga Blanca taking on El Cobarde, Pelino Jr., and Hijo de Stuca Jr. I'm so happy to see Dulce back on my TV screen on Fridays. I miss our lovable Dulce Gardenia. He is so amazing. Then in Amazonas action, this one's going to be a big one, y'all. We are getting La Catalina, Lluvia, and La Jarochita taking on a returning from injury Zuxis, teaming up with her bestie Persephone and Reina Isis. So it's just like, y'all, the girls are back. Oh man, I'm so excited. I love all 6 of these women. I'm so happy to see Zuxis back from injury. I'm so excited to see her back. But then, y'all, we are getting, it's just like, oh, you thought the Grand Prix was crazy. All right, let's get into our next, casually just tell us we're getting into our next tournament all of a sudden. I'm like, excuse me? So next up, we are getting the first phase of the Copa Independencia. So this is going to be a fatal 4-way tag team match. So this should be interesting. But we are getting Defunto and Barbosa versus El Terrible and El Elemental versus Gemelo Diablo and Gemelo Diablo 2 versus Dragón de Fuego and Dragón Legendario. So I remember this from last year. The winning team will go on to face each other in the finals, which we saw how that happen at Aniversario. So I'm interested to see which of these two teams will go on. But really quickly, Dulce, Brillante, and Blanca have been teaming up a lot lately. They just don't have a trio name yet. Something to look out for. I'm excited. Listen, I'm here for all three of them, but I've missed Dulce on my Friday screen so much, and I'm excited. Yeah, so thank you for letting us know. The finals for the Copa Independencia will be at Aniversario, so that is correct. But then, in our main event, ooh, I am so ready for this. This is a tag team match. So, of course, we get Angel de Oro and Hechicero, who I love both of them dearly. But then they are going up against, of course, Místico. But my favorite wrestler of 2025 so far, Bandito, makes his return to CMLL. I'm like, listen, Bandito is here, and then you and your tag team partner, Brody King, will be here the following week on the 13th of September for Viernes Espectacular. Brodito for life, y'all. Man, I'm so happy. Místico and Bandito teaming up against Angel and Hechicero. I'm so excited for that match. I'm not even going to lie. But yeah, I'm super excited for this Viernes Espectacular. So that's going to be it as far as the wrestling review. But don't touch that dial, kids, because I do have some noticias. And guess what? I actually have the slides. Yeah, I feel like that's always unfair. Whoever is going to be going up against the team of Bandito and Místico is be like, well, guys, that's it. Pack it up. Like, those two are too much of a power team, and we've seen it before. Like, their one-on-one match was crazy. But them as a team, I was just like, that's kind of unfair. But I'm here for it. So I'm excited. But I'm going to keep Noticias short because we don't have too many things to talk about, except, next week is an MLW show, and we got a lot of CMLL folks participating in that. But first, I want to kind of quickly, last Friday, we did have a Ring of Honor pay-per-view, Death Before Dishonor. So this was the second Ring of Honor pay-per-view of the calendar year for Ring of Honor. Their final one is, well, funny enough, going to be in December, and that is titled Final Battle. So can't wait to see that. But the two matches I want to quickly go over, and if you have the time, the whole pay-per-view is free on YouTube because the streaming service was having an issue, and Tony Khan decided, you know what, we're going to give it to free for everyone to watch on YouTube. But on top of that, everyone who is a current member of the Ring of Honor streaming service gets a free month because of that. So it's like, baller, you go, Tony Khan. So the two matches I want to talk about first is our Ring of Honor Pure Championship match. So this is our Ring of Honor Pure Champ, Tiger style, Lee Moriarty, taking on CMLL star Shell Hua. And I like to shout out Agent Lo-Fi for giving me the correct pronunciation. I highly recommend y'all go out to watch this match because I am only slightly familiar with Shell Hua. And, the times we've seen him in CMLL, my God, him and Lee Moriarty put on a really fun technical bout because the Pure Championship is just technical wrestling. So this was baller. And unfortunately, Shell Hua would not be able to pick up the win, but damn, just have Lee Moriarty fight everybody in CMLL. He's just fighting people around the world, and I'm here for it. Thank you, Primo A. GG's on the pronunciation. Listen, I learned, and as somebody who is Latino, I kind of don't want to embarrass myself and not knowing how to pronounce things in Spanish. I can pronounce most things, but Shell Hua and the way that it's spelled, it tripped me up, but I appreciate you letting me know when I did the review on Saturday for it. But yeah, Shell Hua freaking rules. So for him, got a ton more fans. Exactly. So, oh yeah. So back to what we were talking about for this upcoming Viernes Espectacular. The show sold out in less than 24 hours. So I'm like, damn. Yes, for sure. So this match was so much fun, but of course, the one I also want to talk about, Hechicero and Bandito burnt the house down. This was crazy. Again, I said during the review, I feel like we could have cut it by 5 minutes because they went for like 35 and they were starting to get gassed at the end. But this was another fun match for sure. I still think Bandito and Konosuke Takeshita from Supercard of Honor is still my favorite so far, but Bandito is on a generational run. And yes, he is my wrestler of the year so far. Like Bandito for life. So, but this, I highly recommend if you are a fan of CMLL, please do go out of your way. The Ring of Honor pay-per-view is free on YouTube. Support the CMLL boys because they both did amazing in those matches. But let's get into the meat and potatoes because next Saturday on September 13th, we are getting our next Major League Wrestling show, MLW's Fightland, which is taking place in Texas. And we got a lot of CMLL talent involved in this. So first and foremost, in the opening round match, because we are continuing with our first round matches for the Opera Cup, which is seeing stars of MLW, New Japan, and CMLL participating. This match I'm really excited for. This is an opening round match. This is going to see, Daddy Volador Jr. taking on Titan. So I was just like, I'm really excited about this. So this is great. Oh, Agent Lo-Fi, don't worry. We're going to talk about Arez in a little bit too, because I got some news on that. I don't have a slide, but, confirmation is fun. So I'm excited to see Volador Jr. and Titan. We're also getting Zandokan Jr. versus Blue Panther Jr. in an opening round Opera Cup match. So this one should be a lot of fun as well. Love me the Pirate. Love me the big old Blue Panther Jr. That man is big and tall. So I'm excited for that one. But the one I'm really excited for, and I'm really hoping it goes Templario's way, is for the FW World Middleweight Championship match. This is a match I'm really looking forward to because I love both of these individuals. We are getting Templario versus the luchador bounty hunter himself, Ikuru Kwan. And I'm so excited for this. Somebody is walking out as champion, and I'm kind of pulling for Templario to be a MLW World Middleweight title champion. But either way, this match is going to be so much fun. I cannot wait for this one. I will be doing a live watch along next Saturday. It will be me by myself, me and Adolfo. We'll see how he feels. But yeah, yeah, happy for the dude. He's been on top. So yeah. So if you do not know, so Arez, the news that I have about Luchador Extraordinaire Arez, who is who's been in the game forever. He is signed with AEW. AEW is doing a typical Lucha Libre storyline with the evil clone. So they have their luchador hologram, of course, that we know who's been popping into CMLL. Now we're getting an evil clone for hologram. And I was just like, people are like, this is stupid. And I was like, you haven't been watching Lucha Libre for long enough because it is not Lucha Libre unless we have an evil clone as somebody. I kid you not. It's not the first time. Mystico had an evil clone at one point, and it makes a lot of sense. So I'm excited for Arez. But back to MLW, we're also going to have other matches taped for their next special. So this one I'm really excited for too, because this is going to be Ultimo Guerrero versus Esfinge. I was like, oh my God, the two big boys are fighting. Let's go. So this is going to be fun. And then we are getting a trios match where 5 out of the 6 participants are MLW guys. So we are getting Atlantis Senior, Blue Panther. So the vets are in here, teaming up with new assignee to MLW, Diego Hill. Cannot wait. Taking on all 3 members of El Galeon Fantasma. So our pirate boys are in the States, y'all. So excited to see that. And then, of course, again, to remind y'all that in October, we are getting Fantastica Mania UK. So CMLL and the UK boys. So Michael Oku and Robbie X and all of them in the UK. We're having a joint show in October. So that's going to be fun. And yeah, that's all the noticias I had for this week. So I'm really excited to talk about everything. I'm excited to see Fightland next Saturday, which is going to be fun. Little bit last thoughts from Agent Lo-Fi. Aramis, which is Hologram, and Arez have had many insane matches against and with each other. They both kind of broke into the U.S. Indies at the same time, and I can't wait for them in AEW. I feel like Tony Khan is finally kind of letting the luchadors let loose a little bit, but we still got a lot of work to do, but I'm excited about that. So yeah, that's going to be it for us here at Los Lobos de la Lucha. We actually made it through an hour. I'm really excited. I thought this was going to be a short talk, but I'm glad that we got to discuss this in detail. But before we go and sign off for the evening, I do want to go over the remaining schedule for the week, which, again, I'm very thankful that it is a regular week. So this Friday, we have the the TNA review. So we are a couple weeks out from Victory Road. So myself, Papa Oso, JT, and Radio Will, we will be talking about TNA, and hopefully it will be better than last week's show. Stay tuned, because we are going to find out together whether that was true or not. And then we wrap up the week on Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific, as the WWE crew of Dual Dynasty will be reviewing Raw and SmackDown, as we are getting ready for the next pay-per-view, WrestlePalooza. Yes, I still hate the name, but you know what? We are getting Stephanie Vaquer versus Io Sky for the vacant World Women's Championship. So one of those two is walking out as champion, and I'm rooting for Miss La Primavera herself, Stephanie Vaquer. But Io would also be a great champion as well. I would be happy either way. And that's going to be it for us here tonight. Thank you so much to Papa Oso for being here. And you know what? I don't try to mush over my host too often, because I don't want to embarrass them. But Papa Oso and Adolfo, who is, of course, still on his vacation hiatus, and he will be back just in time for Aniversario. These two make Wednesday nights very fun for me during CMLL. And Agent Lo-Fi too. You are part of the familia here, so I like to thank them for getting me through Wednesdays, which is a long day for me in general, but it is a fun one for sure. But we got to get up on out of here. So thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back this Friday with the TNA review. But until then, take care of yourself, love one another, stay biconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will see you next week for CMLL, as well as later this week for more wrestling goodness. But until then, this is going to be sayonara, adios, and take care. Peace.
tiene loco en la cabeza cuando me tocas. Siento que todo está bien, pero en verdad